What's up, YouTubers? It's your girl Shannon from EV and Chill, and I'm super stoked to make this video today because, y'all, we just drove one of our future vehicles. That's right, last week we drove the Rivian R1T, and I cannot wait to tell you about it. And it's kind of funny because the day we drove it, it was raining, and right now it's also about to rain. So let's hop inside and let's talk some more about it. So back in September 2021, we put down our $1,000 deposit, ka-ching, on our Rivian R1T. And what Rivian has been doing, they're calling the first mile drive. So if you have a Rivian on order, they're letting you drive the truck, kind of like a test drive. They're calling it their first mile drive. So they'll coordinate with you, they'll bring the Rivian out to your house, and you get to play around and test drive it for an hour. Now personally, I wish I could have kept the truck all day. Honestly, I wish I could have kept it like all week or really just kept it forever. But ours is coming, it's on order, hopefully soon. But I am super grateful to Rivian for the opportunity. I'm so glad I got to get my hands on it. So like I said, about a week ago, we had the Rivian rep drive an R1T out to our house. Now it was in the L-Cap granite color on the exterior, and then on the interior, it was the black mountain. Y'all, it looked so sharp. It was popping, even in the rain, like it was really cool. And then it had these yellow accent colors, and that was like on the badge, the brake calipers. You even saw touches of it on the inside, and I think that really pops. But what I'm more excited about is when we finally get our R1T, we actually chose the blue color. And when I say we chose the blue color, what I really mean is my 3-year-old son chose the blue color. We let him pick what color it was going to be. And I think he chose blue because he really loves the Blippi on YouTube. But anyways, so we're going to have it in the blue color. And I think those yellow accents are going to pop even more against that. I'm super excited for how that looks. And we are waiting for the Ocean Coast interior. I know Rivian said the Ocean Coast is going to take a little bit longer to produce. I'm not going to lie to you, I am a little bit disappointed about that. But anyways, it is going to look redonkulous when we finally get our configuration in person. But now let's talk about the R1T that we got to test drive in that L-Cap granite color. And y'all, we were standing outside waiting for that truck to roll into our driveway. And when we saw it turn the corner on our street, all you see is this like light bar going across. It looks so good, it looks sleek, it looks modern, it looks futuristic. It doesn't look as extremely futuristic as Tesla does. I think it has like the perfect balance for what it is. And it does have like those like stacked headlights. It's got those oval shaped headlights. I think that looks really cool. The few Rivians that we've seen on the road already, once you see those headlights coming at you with that light bar, you instantly know what it is. And personally, I get really excited. And let's continue talking about those exterior features. And y'all, the first thing I have to talk about is the powered frunk. Okay, now if you follow our channel, you know that we're not strangers to a frunk. We like to get frunky in our house. I mean, we've had multiple EVs before. Now some of the frunks have ranged in sizes, but none of them have been powered. And y'all, mama can get used to a powered Rivian frunk. That thing is awesome. You can open it from the carabiner keychain. You can open it from like a hidden button under the hood. That thing is legit. And when you actually open it, the size is gonna blow you away. Now I know people say size doesn't matter. Let's be real, people. Sometimes size is a really big factor here. There was so much space inside, it could fit a small child. I know this because I put my small child in the frunk. But what's even cooler is that as big as it is and as much space as it has, it's almost got like this false bottom or like a double layer. So you can like fold the floor up, and it has these magnets so you can like fold it up. And there's even more space underneath. Like there was enough room I could have sat in the frunk. Like I could actually take a bubble bath in there. All that was missing was like the bubbles and a glass of champagne. It'll definitely fit like my son's baseball bag. It'll literally fit probably like a whole grocery trip's worth of groceries in there. And I have 2 men at home now, so like that's a lot of groceries, people. So yeah, Rivian totally sold me on their powered frunk. I love how it opens and closes just with the push of a button. That is genius. Now let's keep moving to the back of the truck and see what I did. I hopped in the back of the Tesla because we're moving back. Okay, anyways, we'll talk about the gear tunnel because this is like a huge thing that the Rivian has. Everyone is super excited about this. I mean, this can fit like snowboards, skis, extra gear, suitcases. Like, it is big, y'all. And of course, when J3 saw my little 3-year-old, of course he had to go all the way through the tunnel. And also because I'm not a regular mom, I'm a cool mom, I had to do the same thing. And from that experience, I can tell you it can fit a full-grown person in the gear tunnel. Now, I don't know if my husband could fit in there with me. I mean, obviously, width-wise, he probably wouldn't have fit. He'd probably have to stay on top of me. Truthfully, I wouldn't be too mad about that. Although, truthfully, we'd probably just hang out in the cabin of the truck or the bed of the truck. There'd be a little bit more maneuvering room, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Okay, but anyways, the gear tunnel, it is super cool. I think we'll definitely have a lot of use for that. Now, moving forward, I do wish there was something that was a little bit different about the way the gear tunnel door opens. And you open it by pushing a button that's on the bed rail of the truck. You push a button and the gear tunnel pops out just a little bit. And then you kind of have to like maneuver your fingers in and around it and like pull it down. But it really doesn't pop out very far, so you kind of really have to wedge your fingers in there. Hopefully in the future, maybe they can make it pop out just a little bit more, just to make it a little bit easier to pull down, because again, that is manual, it's not powered like the frunk. But other than that, it is super cool. I'm really excited about making a lot of use of that. Okay, now let's talk about the bed of the truck. It's a 4.5 foot bed, so about a foot shorter than like a standard full-size bed you would find on a truck. But 4.5 feet, that is more than enough room to haul around my big ego. And the tailgate, it is dampened when you lower it. However, I wish Rivian made it like a power closing tailgate. I mean, they made their frunk power closing. I wish they could have done the same thing with the tailgate. And a lot of other trucks have that as a feature right now, so I do wish that's something that could change. But other than that, I think it seems like a fairly standard bed. I mean, it's coated in like this hardened material, so I think that's going to help with like durability, makes it a little bit more rugged. And it has an underbody storage area, so you can store even more things in your truck. And this doubles as a cooler because there's like a drain in it. So if you're like a manly man, you can keep your brewskis cold in there. For me, I'm going to be putting some wine coolers in there. And I'm sure most of you know by now that Rivian has a built-in air compressor, so you can air up your tires wherever you are. So that's a super cool feature. I think the only feature that kind of even raised like the tiniest little red flag would be the tonneau cover. Now the tonneau cover itself seems really durable and like pretty heavy duty. My only concern would be the way it like retracts back and forth, and you do that by pressing a button on the bed rail. It just seemed a little bit delicate to me. Like, I'm wondering if something got stuck in the tracks and then you went to retract the tonneau cover, I'm wondering if that could break really easily. So we'll see how that plays out moving forward. Other than that, I can tell you, I mean, I fit comfortably in the bed of the truck. You might be able to fit 2 or 3 other people in there. I'll keep you updated as far as how many people it can fit. Now let's talk about the interior. Now for the inside, like I said, this one had the Black Mountain interior. The one that we ordered was, again, the Ocean Coast, which is going to be significantly lighter. However, I was kind of impressed that the Black Mountain wasn't as dark as I was expecting it to be. And I think that's kind of for 2 reasons. Number one, the yellow accents on the inside, I think kind of add that little pop, lighten it up just a little bit. But also, the full glass ceiling, that totally brightens it up, brings the air in, kind of brings the outside in, which is fitting because Rivian is kind of like outdoorsy, right? But again, having that full glass ceiling makes it feel more open, airy, brightens up the inside. But speaking about being open and airy, let's talk about room. Because y'all, this Rivian is spacious. There is room on room on room. So whether you're sitting in the front seats or you're a rear passenger, there is plenty of leg room. My husband is 5'10", and when he was sitting in the rear passenger seat with the front passenger seat being in like its standard position, he had plenty of leg room. And overall, quality-wise, I feel like it seemed really excellent with a few caveats. Let me explain. So I feel like everything from the seats to the wood trim felt really premium. However, there were 2 things I kind of noticed that didn't feel as premium. And I know these are going to be like minor issues, but they were something that kind of stood out to me. And that would be number 1, the window switches. The window switches just didn't feel like they belonged in an $80,000 truck. They seemed just a little bit more like less expensive. And the second thing would be the door handles. Now you might be thinking like that's just a minor detail, but honestly like a door handle is something you're gonna handle every time you get inside the vehicle. And the door handles, they're very similar to what we have on our EV6 right now and our old Ioniq 5. But to me, just thinking about it, I was actually thinking that the door handles on our old Ioniq 5 actually felt more premium than the handles on the Rivian. Now again, I know that's such a small element of the vehicle, and it is just a personal opinion, but it is something I did pick up on. I mean, the design team, you can tell they put a lot of thought and effort into this. Something small that I really liked, and I noticed this was kind of fun, was the fact that there were like little Easter eggs with the Rivian symbol. Like the Rivian symbol is hidden like in little spots throughout the truck. So obviously, of course, on the badging on the front, but even under the hood, you can see it on the side pillar, on the outside of the vehicle, to the tailgate, on the calipers, and even the oval shape on the headlights, you even see that integrated onto the inside of the tailgate. Again, just a small detail, but I think that's really awesome. And while I'm thinking about it, they even have the Rivian symbol projected onto the ground. That is awesome. Okay, actually, my favorite detail here is the fact that when you open up the door of the driver's side, they have a little hidden flashlight, like, built into the door. It's just built right into the side of it there. Now, personally for me, I think that's a really cool detail. However, if this were my truck, if that were my door hole, I would want a flashlight that's just a little bit bigger and a little bit longer. That's just what I'm used to, people. But sometimes you gotta take what you can get, and in a pinch, that one will work. But now, let's go ahead and let's talk about drive. Now, brace yourselves, people, because I'm about to say something that's gonna be mind-blowing. The R1T truck, it drove like a truck. I know, it's shocking. What? Who would have thought? But actually, it was really surprising. Now, it does have air suspension in all four corners, so you can raise and lower it depending on what drive modes you choose. But overall, like, it drove like a truck. I would have to say we've owned an F-150 Platinum, and I actually think the Rivian and the F-150, they drove really similarly. I think I was probably expecting the R1T to drive a little bit more comfortably, maybe a little bit more of a smoother ride. I think I was probably expecting it to drive like an SUV, but again, it drove like a truck. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing by any means. Again, it just wasn't what I was imagining it to be. I mean, other than adjusting like your ride height, I'm really not sure how much the air suspension came into play when it came to ride quality. I mean, again, to me, it kind of felt really similar to just driving a regular truck with spring suspension. But again, not necessarily a bad thing, just something a little bit unexpected. And this leads us into talking about quickness. The R1T has 850 horsepower, and it has 4 electric motors, 1 at each wheel, and Rivian says it can do 0 to 60 in a little over 3 seconds. Now, I'm used to quick EVs. Our Model Y performance we're sitting in right now can do 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. I mean, I like to call these quickies. But honestly, I have to say the Model Y just feels a little bit quicker. And here's what I mean. So I put the R1T in the sportiest mode and I floored it. Like, I put the pedal to the metal, people. But I think the difference is it kind of like rolled onto the throttle. So it's kind of like a comfortable roll into that like acceleration. And I don't mean that in a slow way. I mean, it was a quick roll, but I think I would kind of compare it to like the Mach-E. So if you're driving the Ford Mustang and you put your pedal down, like it's gonna like do a gentle roll into that quick acceleration. Whereas in a Tesla, if you stab the accelerator, your neck is gonna snap back. You're gonna get some whiplash. You're not gonna have some happy passengers. But again, just a difference in like how quick they felt. I do think a pro to the R1T is that your passengers are definitely gonna appreciate that smoother acceleration. And I'm definitely going to appreciate it as a passenger when my husband drives. Because when we drive our Tesla and he stabs that accelerator, y'all, I think at this point I just have chronic whiplash. I need to see a chiropractor because he stabs it. But that's just what I noticed on our initial drive. I can't wait again till we actually have the Rivian so we can do some further testing for research purposes. And the R1T has a rated range of 314 miles, and I really believe the truck is going to hit every bit of that. I mean, we drove it around for a while, and with the miles we drove, it seemed pretty accurate with the stated range we had left. Overall, I am super impressed with the R1T. I think after doing the first mile drive, it only confirms that we made the right decision putting a deposit down on this truck. I think the only thing now is just waiting for the Ocean Coast to come in. Hurry up, Rivian, we're waiting. Well, that's all I've got for now. If you have an R1T on order or an R1S, drop the specs below. I would love to know what you ordered. Also, don't forget, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and drop this video a like. That's all I've got for now. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.